ABN and XBiz, and you just got some major companies that sit on the board, so, you know, I mean, that's definitely a good way to go, and at least it's not,
The rude way.
yeah, it's not counterintuitive, it's not, you know, trying to come in through the back door, so to speak. You know, FNC, like I say, has been around for a number of years, and actually, I would say in our last 6 to 12 months, we've really gained some really huge accomplishments in regards to, you know, how the industry itself also views the FSC. I mean, you know, the industry doesn't necessarily view the FSC as an entity that's there for their protection either. And they don't know. They have no idea what we do.
Yeah.
You know, how we do it and where our care and concern is. Countless hours and participation that we all donate to that cause.
Right.
None of us are paid. In fact, it's an expense for all of us. But it's, you know, it's an expense that all of us are
You're on the same page.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I say, you're definitely talking to somebody who's on the same page. I'm just not optimistic that this is the right approach. But if it turns out to be something that's viable, then, you know, would definitely be somebody that would be interested. But I can tell you right now that there's a couple people that you named on that board or whatever it is that I definitely have huge concerns.
And people on the board have huge concerns about each other. And my answer to that is we don't have to like each other. But we gotta at least respect each other. The fact that we're all here in the same industry and we all have the same issues.
You've got
you
people
know.
that you mentioned on that board that terrify me in their ethics and integrity and what they have done in their time in this industry.
Right.
Obviously not going to name any names or be specific, but, you know, that probably should be your first and foremost concern, is to create a board of people that have untarnished records and reputations.
Well,
And
those are
right
just
now you've got some names on there that
we're just the little people.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
but you know, you gotta put your best foot forward in almost anything you do. And in this industry, it's even more.
Would that be on the crew side or the reformer side?
Again, I'd rather not.
Oh, okay.
I don't need the drama.
Okay, I'm just curious where that was
I've had
coming from.
enough of my own drama in the last 2 years.
I know you know Lana, I know Lana.
I'm just saying I've had a lot of my own drama in the last couple of years. I know who the good people are in this industry, and I know who the bad people are in this industry.
Right.
I know them all very well. You know, I will position myself with the good people of the industry and not the bad people of the industry. And if there's anybody out there that has any negative feelings towards me, I look at that and scratch my head and I say to myself, then what kind of person are they?
Right.
Because I've got 18 years of an untarnished reputation. Untarnished. Mike Souths of the world and the Shy Loves of the world can attack me all they want.
Yeah,
but when elements of that nature attack something of a solid reputation in nature, that it doesn't take a scientist to see through, you know, what those two entities are made of.
Right.
So, you know,
well, at least going forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, anybody that questions or tries to attack my
Nobody has.
integrity or,
Nobody will.
you know,
That's not what we're trying to do. That's not No.
No.
Yeah, we already made oaths right off the bat that we are to get along. We are not to talk shit on anybody. That's just one of the major rules right off the bat. The minute anyone starts talking shit on anybody, they're out. Just everybody's got to respect each other and get along. That's the major problem most of us have our drama. So we cut the shit out of the drama right off the bat. So we're not there to do that.
But again, if you've got those certain people involved, then you're not going to get away from that drama. I can guarantee you.
We're not on our side. We're trying to avoid it as much as
possible. Not going to get away from it.
Yeah. At least on our side, we're trying to avoid it as much as possible. And we've all agreed to try to ignore it. It's hard because we have like Evan Stone in our face every day. It's impossible to do. And we're bummed about that.
What happened with that?
Evan Stone came to me in the very beginning and goes, I want to be president of this thing. I'm like, okay, I'll make you president. Okay, whatever, I'm good with that, And because he was very, so I was like, okay, I'll put you the only one on the ballot, and that way you can be president. Whoop, and everybody, and made sure nobody had a problem with that. No, that's fine, Evan can be on the ballot. He went with me to the union law labor conference, and then he went with me to the lawyers. And then he saw, I guess, what this could do or something, or I don't know. He has this thing where, in his head, that he has this app that he thinks he's going to get rich off of, that he's going to replace all your agents. Well, that's not going to happen because we need agents because we need babysitters. So if we wanted to get our own jobs, we would. We want agents. Agents what makes it cool. We have an agent. Just the fact. So that's never going to happen anyway. So all of a sudden, he didn't want to be president. He wanted to be international president to make sure that that was through. And I'm like, well, you can't be international president because those papers have already been filed. So that means we'd have to bring them down and amend them, and who knows if they'll give it back to us or not. So no, that's not going to happen. And so he's throwing a fit. Right? So that's the real reason of that. So now he's just throwing a fit and because we didn't get it to what he wanted. That's how that went. Yeah, because I'm like, that's just not going to fly anyway. But we wanted him as president because he's got the personality. He's always in everyone's face. And we thought he would be very cool and fun. So Shawn Michaels is more of the mellow type, calm-minded, but we're looking to put maybe Chi LaRue with Shawn Michaels to kind of like poof up that, to make more of a Evan Stone, because he's a comedy act, So we were thinking this could be fun. I'll follow Evan Stone,
I don't know.
Because, he was going to the conference meetings, he was going to all the meetings, it was cute. He was all into it.
Well, I don't know if you want to have a presence of comedy and
yeah, well, it's just someone to stand out, kind of. But so we voted on Shawn Michaels to replace him because he's respected. He's like,
sounds very well respected.
Yeah. So we thought that would be good. That's how that went. And I don't know what Evan is still doing. I don't know.
Happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
All right, well, fair enough. Like I say, I mean, I'm not a adversary. I'm just extremely skeptical and pessimistic and apprehensive to something that I just don't think will fly. But whatever I or my colleagues at the FSC can do that benefits the industry in general, then I'm always going to be in favor of it. So
thank you.
I'll close with that. I certainly
perfect.
don't want to leave you with a bad taste of the meeting.
No, that's all we're asking. That's all we're asking.
It'll be interesting, like I say, to see what comes out of the meeting with Eric.
Do you want me to resend you the rewrite on that constitution?
No, I have that.
Because we wrote it.
Oh, yeah. If you have something updated, by all means, send that to me.
Because we fixed those things that you pointed out.
By all means.
So it's important for us to get that info from
everybody. You may as well just include Eric on there since you already got him in kind of the loop.
Okay.
That way, between he and I, we can kind of disperse it out, whatever, to the right people.
Again, we're not trying to step on people's toes.
No, I appreciate the comment. I understand, and I appreciate that. I respect that. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
And FSC gets involved, and obviously that
it'll be a good thing.
Beneficial. Could put a little bit more credibility and structure to it. You've got, like I say, some attorneys on there that have some vast experience and knowledge and expertise in many areas in and outside of the industry that could be beneficial. So.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, perfect.
Very good.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Good to have met you.
I'm not Heather, kind of thing.
All right. There you go.
Thank
Good luck.
Thank you.
Stay in touch.
You will?
Let me know how your meeting goes there.
Okay.
We'll go from there.
All right.
All right, Felicia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care now. Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.